It don't take them long to get 3 wide down the back straightaway. They got trouble already.
Crow turns around. Is that Glenn Allen that's gone for 2 spins? And about half a dozen cars are going to be involved. That was the black Chevrolet of Glenn Allen.
Look at Joe Bessie's number 6 there. Is up on top of another car as they slide down off the bank.
For the 6th time, this race has seen a massive crash in its very first lap. There's number 80, Mark Crow, pulling away. Joe Bessie all tied up with another car. Glenn Allen pulls away.
So disappointing to not even get back to the start-finish line on the first lap. You worked hard all winter to make this 300-mile race, and then to have this happen on the very first lap. Disappointing.
That's Mark Crow, I believe, who just stepped out of his car, talking with Joe Bessie. Andy Santerre will pit, so will Elliott Sadler and Elton Sawyer, and there's Sadler coming in. Now Bessie climbs out. He's okay.
You can see Sadler's car had the flaps up on the roof. He had apparently been around backwards. That keeps the car pressed down on the racetrack. That's an aerodynamic foil that they have on the roof there to keep these cars down when they turn around.
Now Mark Crow comes on to pit road. That was his brother Jeff Crow who climbed out there next to the Bessie car.
So both of the Crow brothers, unfortunately, involved in the accident.
There's Mark Crow's number 80 with a lot of damage. Just in front of him, Andy Santerre is in. Jeff Burton has come to pit road. That's the car at the top of your screen.
That 66 is third in line there, Elliott Sadler. He had to be one of the favorites coming into this race. He sat on the pole for this event a year ago.
Jeff Burton pulls away. Mike Cope, the All-Pro 2-time champion, looking for a great debut today. That's Bessie on the left, and that's Jeff Crow in the black suit.
So we'll take a look and see what happened. They were beginning to get bunched up as they were heading into turn 3.
Looks like Randy LaJoie may have gotten into the back of 56 Jeff Crow.
Yeah.
And there goes Glenn Allen spinning.
Glenn Allen almost turned over there. You see Jeff Burton going on the outside there, just skirting by. Mark Martin shoots by in the 60 there in the middle. And after that, it's just a chain reaction. You really can't see very well, and it's hard to avoid the cars in front of you, just like on the interstate or anywhere else. When they start hitting, things happen like that.
Heading into turn 3. A very narrow needle to thread for the rest of the drivers coming through.
Yes, as those cars were sliding, first of all, they were putting up a lot of smoke off the tires as they were spinning around, and then they were pretty well taking up the asphalt also going into the turn, so they didn't have anywhere to go. And they were getting up to, it takes them a little more than a lap to get up full speed, but they still were running over 160 or 70 miles an hour.
From Jeff Burton's car,
it's up in turn 3.
One car up in the wall. Dave Blaney, the sprint car driver, backs it in.
Tony Stewart missed that wreck by about a half a car length. He had to really look at the fire here. We have a fire underneath the car.
The window net comes down. That's the signal the driver's okay, and he's going to be out of there in a second.
Yeah, that looks like a fuel fire. It's at the back of the car, but I don't want to speculate. It could be so many things right now. The good part is it's not up there where the driver's at.
It's burning down on the grass now.
And it appears, Ned, that Blaney may have hit his button for the onboard fire extinguishing system before climbing out here. May still have a radio cord or something hooked up.
Yeah, that's pretty aggravating when you're trying to get out. You see him there. He still has the hose on his helmet hooked up. There's a lot of things that you have to unhook to get out.
Still a little bit of fire coming right around. That's the fuel intake position there. A little bit of fire burning out there. You're right around in this area. But thank goodness it's not a lot of fire, and he does have time to get out of the car. The fireman sees that fire now and says, we'll just go ahead and put that out.
Ned, the driver is a lot like an astronaut in that capsule. He's got radio. He may have a drink tube. He may have a fresh air tube to his helmet.
And this this might be the first time that he's had to get out of one of these stock cars.
In a hurry.
Yeah, and you know, he's been used to driving those open wheel cars and a lot more openness all the way around you.
Mike, I've had the same thing happen. I've caught on fire like that, and I brought every cable and everything in there that was hooked with me 30 yards outside of that car before I ever looked back.
Dave Blaney is okay. He will get the required ride in the track ambulance to the Dr. Monaco Care Center here in the infield at Daytona. After going into the wall up toward turns 3. Caution out for the 3rd time today. Let's have a look at this.
Okay, here are the leaders going into turn 3 and panning up in front of him. He's already into the wall. That's Dave Blaney in the car number 3. He stays high, and Nemechek is going to go below him. He gets all the way down on the flat, but Stewart, he slowed down and went above him.
Now, buddy, that looked like a bold move for Nemechek, because with these self-cleaning bankings, usually a driver will go high to miss an accident. That's Mark Green down on the inside, and away goes Tony Stewart. Here comes the pack. And Hermie Sadler
gets right into him.
And Larry Pearson can't miss him. Quickly, we'll go back to caution. Field slows on the backstretch. As in this series, they do not race back to the start-finish line as they do in Winston Cup racing.
These guys are trying to get a lap back here. You can see them racing the lead car back to the flag.
Yeah, they are trying to get a lap back. And Mike, I think in this series they do race back to the flag. Only the leader's the one that tries to keep them from getting a lap back. But Mark Green, John Andretti, and the car number 89 of Kevin Swan got around the leader before they got back to the start-finish line. You see Tony Stewart's car there.
Stewart moving around inside the car. Apparently he's okay.
I said that was Kevin Swanson. That was the Stanton Barrett car that got a lap back. Here's Larry Pearson's car.
And window net down. Larry may already have climbed out of that car. Something happened on the way to turn 1.
Mike, I've said it 1,000 times. The most dangerous part in a race is restart when you double foul. That's an oil cooler laying there with the hose still hooked up to it.
Debris all over the place.
This one will take a couple of laps to clean up.
It will.
10 laps to go. And this happened at 3rd place.
Wow. What a great drive he had all day. Tony Stewart did everything right until just then. Whatever happened, wow.
8 cautions is the race record, 1980. 6 today.
Stewart coming out of the car, being helped out of the car. Now he's walking away.
And there's Larry Pearson. See what happened on the restart as they came up to speed going toward turn 1.
Well, of course, the cars were all bunched up, and here is the 44 car. Apparently gets hit from behind, maybe by
that was Mark Martin there.
Made
yes.
contact.
The black and yellow car right there.
And you can see he stays up there. Larry Pearson comes right in there. And
Hermie Sadler as well. Shane Hall then gets into the back of Larry Pearson. Top of your screen. And from the in-car camera with Randy LaJoy. In the blink of an eye.
Nashville Speedway, who has since graduated to Front Anywhere. And there goes Barrier. Caution. Here goes the Santerre car. And there go other spins. Patty Moise in the 14, nosed into by Matt Hutter. And caution is on the speedway. Lap
go ahead.
Number 4.
40 kick lap. Go ahead. Catch up. It's after it.
Ed Berrier, the first to go around. You are eavesdropping in on Matt Hutter's team. We'll get another good look at all that transpired, what transpired a few moments ago. Watch this going into turn 1.
You see Ed Berrier there in the 77 just goes in the corner and loses control, hits with the right front corner there. That messed the front up end, but back behind Santerre spins. This is chain reaction. This is just a lot of cars getting in trouble because there's trouble in front. With 18 degrees banking, they can't see what's in front of them going off in the corner.
Patty Moise and Hutter spun there, Larry.
Yeah, just again, like Buddy said, this is one of those situations where, you know, one car maybe slows up and it's like the bumper effect. You know, this one hits this one, this one hits this one, and next thing you know, you got 3 or 4 cars involved, which began as a one-car incident.
That is Phil Parsons' car. What remains of it after a wild crash up there in turn 3. There is Blaze Alexander's nose, and we'll take a look at exactly what happened. Up into the corner.
That's Phil Parsons up against the wall up there. We got there just as he got into the outside wall. You can see the fuel cell has moved all the way up under the car.
You saw who had to get on the bottom of the racetrack, didn't you, buddy? A lot of lap traffic there. Ed Berrier and Mark Green going to be a big factor here.
Oh, they touch. Around they go. McLaughlin takes the lead. Caution is on the speedway. Presley's in the wall. Atwood goes by. Earnhardt goes by. Oh, and Sadler gets collected on the low side of the racetrack. Caution on the speedway. Earnhardt didn't get by unscathed. You see the right front caved in. Caution. Lap 313. And a lot of cleanup to be done.
A lot of damage to the right front all the way back on Earnhardt's car. He couldn't get by the car spinning down the racetrack.
Sure, NASCAR is going to do everything they can to get this cleaned up as quick as they can, where we can get a little bit of racing in, but there is a lot of cleanup, a lot of debris in turn 3 and 4 from this wreck.
And you see Mark Green there letting down the safety net. There is Mike McLaughlin of Waterloo, New York, looking for his 4th win in NASCAR Busch Series competition.
Eli, I was watching the wreck, and I still don't know how Casey Atwood got through there unscathed. He does not have a mark on that race car all day long. Sitting in 2nd place right now.
How about that? Pit road is closed because of congestion on the low side of the racetrack. We'll take another look at it here. 77 is Berrier there.
Coming down the backstretch, of course, it's the 77 Berrier, Mark Green, both lap cars. Here's the leaders come on them. Presley gets in the right rear of Mark Green, gets into Ed Berrier. They slide up the bank and they're into the wall. Presley backs into the wall hard there, buddy.
Yeah, and you see Ed Berrier starting down the bank over there. That's where anybody that wanted to go by these guys would have to drive down. Now you see them all coming down the bank. See Mark Green there in the 37 gets hit in the right rear corner. That turns him in to Ed Berrier. And there goes Robert Presley, also badly torn up against the wall. Watch them as they come down the racetrack here. Now there goes Casey Atwood in the white car right down there. That's how he got by.
And then seconds later, Elliott Sadler came through and got rubbed. Meanwhile, Gary Cogswell. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing. The Gun Out 200 underway in a car quickly in the wall, and problems on the main straightaway. Dennis Setzer in the 48 spins. That is Setzer sitting right there. Looked like Buckshot Jones in the 00 ended up in the wall as they gunned it for the start, buddy.
That happens a lot of times when the lead cars come down, kind of brake before they get on the accelerator. Dennis Setzer on the front straightaway backwards on the oncoming traffic as they come off turn 4. Everybody sees him. The caution is out.
So Joe Bessie will take the caution, lap number 1, after problems on the start. And the shot we had looking right back up the main straightaway, Dick, you probably saw the guys quickly shuffling towards the wall. And we'll have to take another look, buddy.
Eli, usually what happens is the lead cars will not go when everybody's anticipating a start. And further back in the group, it's like a chain reaction on a freeway. As you get back through the field, you have less time to get on the brakes, and it just collects a lot of cars.
So we are under caution now. Let's take a look again, guys, and see what happened here. Watch in the middle of the field. Let's see who gets out of shape first. Not to the inside. There goes Buckshot. Bang.
I think you got tagged.
He might have gotten hit by Stanton Barrett in the 50.
Yeah, who might have gotten hit by somebody as well.
Yeah.
You could see back in the back there, about halfway back, the oncoming cars were expecting us.
I told you before that Hunter did not have the easiest weekend. This is what happened to him yesterday in his qualifying session here in the afternoon.
You can see fluids coming out from under the car, getting out of the rear wheels hard into the wall. The back of the car was really damaged.
And now we've got caution on the speedway. There is the 89, John Preston. He brings out the caution. So John Preston spinning in turn number 2. And this is the second caution flag of the day. It'll fly at lap number 67. Interesting story. That is the car normally driven by Stanton Barrett. It was not on the original schedule to be run up here. Then Preston, who was a local driver from up in the Northeast, said he wanted to run. So a deal was made. And then at that point, Stanton Barrett was available because he wasn't supposed to run here. And then when turn 2, there's a problem. There's a problem. Patty Moise and Mike Cope are the involved cars. Moise in the 14, Cope in the 30. And caution for the third time.
Tremendous amount of damage there to Mike Cope's car. That's him in the red car, and that's Patty Moise in the white car pulling away there. Tremendous amount of damage. I know the radiator's gone in that car.
Now fortunes can change. That is the car that won the race here last year. Mike Cope's number 30.
Patty Moise. That car owned by Michael Waltrip's wife, Buffy. Elizabeth Waltrip listed as the owner on the number 14. Caution at lap number 87.
I don't think she has any brakes.
That may have been a comment.
I was going to say,
well, I was being nice, guys.
There may be no brakes, or that might have been an editorial.
Elton Sawyer.
Let's wait and see here. No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, obviously a lot of carnage. And Patty has driven on towards the garage stall. So Patty Moise right there. And the good news is, with all that damage, good news that they were both able to drive away.
Elton Sawyer is pitted. The hood is up on that car. He had been in contention earlier today. Trickle is in the pits as well in the 38.
Here comes 77 Ed Berrier. Phil Parsons is in. These stops at lap number 88. Glenn Jarrett's down on pit road watching.
Yeah, Eli, there's that Matt Kenseth had come in. We told you he was very tight. They came in a while ago and made some adjustments. Matt said the car was even worse. They brought him in this time. They put 3 rounds in the right rear, 2 out of the left rear, and went 3 up on the track bar. And they've also got some spring rubbers. In a little bit, I'm going to show you some of this stuff, talk about the ways that they adjust this car. But Matt Kenseth's car is probably as tight as he's ever had it, and they just cannot get it loosened up.
These pit stops now for some taking place lap number 89.
Well, if it's still pushing now, they can take it out in the woods and shoot it. I'm telling you, that's a major change on that car.
Let's see if we can tell from Matt Kenseth's car what happened between Cope. Now, tough to tell through the smoke.
Stay down low. We're clear, boys. We're clear.
Couldn't tell through the smoke the primary car and the backup. Oh, and there gets tagged by Casey Atwood. Atwood then goes around as he is hit by the 82 of Mark McFarland. There goes the spinning Santerre. Caution is on the speedway. Turn 1, the problems, lap 100. We're halfway here in New Hampshire. There was the 82 of Mark McFarland, who really had absolutely nowhere to go. There is the Chevy that looks very much, unfortunately, like the Ford looked yesterday.
Casey Atwood thought he had the spot going in the corner, and he got into the left corner there of Jason Jarrett, and that started this melee.
Or I should say that was the Ford looking like the Chevy did yesterday. Here it is again. Watch what happens going into turn 1.
See Casey Atwood on the bottom. Jason Jarrett starts across the racetrack. They make contact right there, and the cars behind them just have absolutely nowhere to go. You see going by there on the bottom, Jason Keller in 57 made it through. The low line got through. The other guys, wow.
Meanwhile, there's Jason Jarrett getting out of his car that's on fire. Another car right there, the 82 McFarland, showing a good bit of flame, and he is unhooking from his car. He's the late model stock car driver, McFarland is, from the Old Dominion Speedway in Manassas, Virginia. As you can see, he's okay. Plans to run 5 NASCAR Busch Series races this year. This is the biggest track, the fastest track he'd ever run on.
That's also one of Earnhardt's cars from last year, so wow, I'm telling you.
Meanwhile, there's Jarrett, you see, walking okay into the end. His Monte Carlo looked like a Monte Carlo. Regretfully, it now looks like a pacer. That is remarkable, folks. He led 107 laps today. We are obviously under caution at lap 145. Joe Bessie and Elliott Sadler spun off turn number 2. And there you see, leading 107 laps today. Early in the day, clearly the class of the field. There's the other car who was involved, Elliott Sadler. Look at the offset there.
Yeah, you can see the rear housing knocked completely around sideways on that car, and the right front knocked around too.
Meanwhile, at the other end of the racetrack, this is Shane Hall. This was not the first. This is not the reason for the caution. Shane got tagged by Robert Presley right there. Did the full 360 and continued on. There was no caution because of that. He got it woed down and brought the big A car back to the pit lane. But at that very same moment, at the other end of the racetrack, there was the Joe Bessie, Elliott Sadler spin.
You can see Joe got into the back of Elliott Sadler just a little bit, putting both of these cars out of control and into the outside. You see Sadler really spinning the wheels there to keep it off the wall. And right there, he makes big contact with the right front.
It was a good strategy, though, instead of using the brakes, wasn't it? Just bury the throttle.
Now, you talked about aerodynamics not being a huge factor, but what happens when you have no rear spoiler?
Well, if he goes back at all, he's for the ride. But you can see the car is really twisted and everything. I mean, right now he's trying to evaluate whether he has any reason to be out there.
He's coming back onto the racetrack pit road again. That lap enough right there to scare him to the garage area. And there, you're indeed right, buddy. There was no way. That's too bad. Joe Bessie, just a nice guy, popular guy up here.
The car just abruptly went up across the racetrack into the outside wall, the Shell Pontiac, and here's Labonte coming the wrong way up pit road, just trying to get the car off the racetrack.
I don't think he's going anyplace. Do you, Kyle?
I don't think he is. I think Mark Martin did a tremendous job. I think he spun that thing all the way around and kept going, and everyone avoided him. And the 44 car seems to be the only car in there.
Going into turn 2, and I looked up and saw the car just abruptly get up across the racetrack and backed almost directly into the concrete wall.
Ever see Mark Martin? Now he's going to spin as we go forward, and we see Labonte going up, and then all the cars start checking up, and phew, man, it's lucky that wasn't a big time crash over there.
Yeah,
I guess in Bobby Labonte's eyes, it was a big-time crash.
It was big for Bobby. It was very fortunate for the 60. I think Schrader got a little bit. Schrader's trying to avoid it right here. Mark comes down on him just a little bit, and they just touch as you see him going out of frame right there.
Hard to see if there was any contact with Bobby Labonte's Pontiac from the back. Now let's look again. The bumper came up.
Cars up in the corner. McLaughlin is one of them. Matt Hutter, Kevin Zawinski.
Glenn Allen is involved. 99 car. We will have caution being shown for the 5th time today here on lap number 158.
Ever see the pace car as he picks up the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr. There we go. Zawinski, the black car right in the middle, goes down the corner, and they're 3 abreast. And just not enough room. He gets a little touch from the 63, goes up, touches the 36. And we see the 89 car, Jeff Fuller, just barely get by. And the 36 of Hutter, pretty good contact with the old outside retaining wall.
And the rookie points leader is the 36 car of Matt Hutter. You look from our Pennzoil copter cam high above. There's Sawinski. He taps Hutter. Great move by Jeff Fuller, as you heard Benny say, to get by, not be involved. The spinning car of McLaughlin. He nearly gets tagged. Does get a little bump from behind, but finally gets stopped, Kyle. So we got trouble in turn 4, and Lance Hooper is involved. Heavy damage on his WCW machine. Heavy front-end damage for Lance Hooper. That will bring out the caution.
Trickle trying to make his lap back up right here. He is coming. Oh, runs all over Earnhardt almost. Yeah, he spun earlier in the race. Trickle spun earlier in the race, as you recall, and got lapped. So made up his lap right back.
Ray Dunlap, as the caution waves, you were looking right at what happened.
I sure was, Doc, and the last time that the 17 car came by, which is Matt Kenseth, it looked like a piece of sheet metal fell out of that race car, and it was laying right in the center of turn 4, and we were just about to say, boy, there's probably going to be a caution for debris, and there was a caution because cars were hammering the wall, and that's because they ran over that sheet metal that I think might have come out of the 17 car.
Boy, Schrader was up high. There is Lance Hooper spinning low. Also involved was Jeff Fuller in the 89 car.
Well, once again, take a look. That's Schrader that we see going up in the wall there. In the 15 car, the Oakwood home car. And the 23 car, Hooper, comes down, and he got his front end damaged by running in the right side of Jeff Fuller. And when Fuller's car comes around, you'll see all the damage on the right side of his car.
Well, NASCAR had already radioed, we are told, had already radioed the flagman, and he was reaching for the caution flag, and that does confirm what Ray Dunlap was talking about. They had seen the debris, but before they could get the flag out, of course, it happened instantly. The cars were running over it, and you see Jeff Fuller climbing out. There's another shot of all those cars that had the trouble up in turn 4.
A lot of heavy contact between Lance Hooper.
Trying to make it 3 wide on the inside. He's in the channel lock. Whoa, contact. Todd Bodine is there. Feet up. Goes around. And I told you.
I shouldn't have said it.
You had to say caution free.
Tim, I'm really sorry.
Well, he's going to throw Kleenex at you, I promise you. What a tough break for Tim Feet. We're bringing out the first caution flag tonight here on lap number 49.
We'll see it on a replay because the cameras were right on top of that, but I don't believe it was anything but just a racing deal. Look how tight these cars are right in here. This is about 10th place on. Yep, you saw Tim just come down a little bit, make just a little bit of contact with the 30 car. There's no room at Raceway Park here to, once you get bumped like that. We saw it in the truck race last night, and Tim's hard into the wall in turn number 1.
Once again, different angle this time. Todd Bodine is the Slim Jim driver. There is Fito's car, and Bodine the contact. LePage is there. Boy, Ed Barrier did a great job to get on the brakes, not to run into the back of Fito's cars and spun around. And oh, look at there. Heavy damage for Tim Fito. He was 5th in the point standings coming into the night. Just Busch Series coming back to the Busch Series. Oh, and here is the power team machine, the Chevy of Joe Bessie, sliding off the turn.
That's turn number 2 there, coming off of turn number 2 against the inside wall on the back straightaway.
Now we'll bring out caution for the second time here on lap 59. Sheet metal damage on the left side of Bessie's machine. There is the car number 44 of Tony Stewart in the Shell Pontiac, Joe Gibbs' own car. All the damage to the rear of that machine.
We'll try to find out what happened and why the 6 car spun out there, but
see if I can see what happened again here. This was over in turn 2.
Well, obviously the 44 car had to check up, as did Joe Bessie there, and then the 34 car of Mike McLaughlin just got into the back of him. Can't tell exactly why they had to slow up.
A little different angle. It's already, Bessie had already been tagged, and so had the 44 had gotten hit from behind. Stewart by McLaughlin.
Well, folks, that shot right there should tell you one thing. We are under caution once again for the third time today here on lap 85, and that's the back. That's the bumper cam for Shane Hall and the Big A Auto Parts machine, Don Stegall's car. Here's what happened just a moment ago.
We're on board with Shane right here. That's in between turns 3 and 4, and you could tell Shane got a shot from a pretty solid shot from behind and just backed it in between the wall there in turns 3 and 4. Putting his hand up there saying, what is the deal?
Well, you know you're in trouble when you're suddenly watching where you're going and suddenly you're watching where you've been. Indicating he got a little tag from behind, and boy, heavy damage on the back of the Big A Auto Parts car number 85. He and Tracy Leslie getting together. Leslie, the 1993 winner here of the Hillman may have a shot. Whoa, a huge crash on the backstretch.
Folks, you guys see what we do. Don't know what caused it yet, but you can tell there's cars everywhere, debris all over the place.
There's the Phil Parsons car. Mark Green is involved. The 4, that is Matt Hutter. Debris all over the back straightaway as now the leaders will work their way through and try to slow down. Carl Simmons feverishly waving the caution flag back here at the start-finish line. That brings out the 4th caution flag today here on lap number 92.
You see the NASCAR official down there waving the red flag. That's the flag that says whether the pits are open or not.
Oh, there is the Duralube Chevy for Phil Parsons. See if we can see what happened. Parsons already sideways. Looks like some contact behind him. There's Mark Green's car.
And then Mark Green slides backwards to block the track, and that's where it all, that's when it got real dirty.
Curtis Markham trying to get by on the inside. He ends up getting involved.
Here's real time.
That was from Kevin LePage's channel lock in-car camera. The Doug Taylor machine. LePage stayed up high. It was able to get by. Now there's all that debris on the backstretch. We would imagine that most of the guys who only took on 2 tires before would want to pit. Here's the car number 37. That is Mark Green as they are running along beside the car. Crew now see if they can possibly get some repair done there. We are hearing that maybe some of the leaders may pit for their between Big E and Little E this weekend. Whoa,
got a wreck.
Hold that thought. Well, accident, action. That's Dave Blaney in the Amoco car, the ultimate Amoco machine. Pontiac, Bill Davis on car. He loops it back around. There was some contact. That's over in turns 1 and 2, and that will bring out the 5th caution flag.
Appears like it happened getting into turn 1, Jerry, and they came to rest just right there in the middle of 1 and 2. I can't tell exactly what happened yet. We'll see if we have it on a replay.
There's the Pontiac safety car with the field in tow. Let's see if we can see entering turn 1 what might have happened, Chad.
Looks like a deja vu of what happened with Tim Fita earlier tonight. Just a slight little contact, and it's going to send someone backing into the wall there.
That's Lance Hooper in the WCW car. They body slammed the 5th to 93 car into the outside concrete. Elton Sawyer making a move. Boy, Mike Bliss has dodged another one. He and Lyndon Amick both able to get by, and as this car number 93 of Dave Blaney came back down across the racetrack. As you see Blaney's damaged car going behind the Chevrolet driver for Dale Earnhardt Jr. And we have a car in the wall. That is Dave Resendez in the Dr. Pepper machine. Washington Irving on cars. He loops it back around and gets it refired. Doesn't look like there was much, if any, damage on that car. That will bring out caution flag number 6. You're on lap 150.
Here's a replay of what happened with Dave Resendez. We're just getting the tail end of it there. We can't really see what turned him around. And like Dr. Punch said, just very little damage.
All right.
Able to pass cars.
Oh, here is Grubb spinning around and gets it spun around.
Again, it does not look like NASCAR's going to throw a caution.
I don't think even Chitwood can do one that well. He spun around, come all the way up, and didn't even nudge the wall. Came very close to it.
It was good that nobody hit him.
Lost about a half a dozen spots, and that was about it. Gave the fans up in turn 4 a show. And here's the guy they're all chasing. So we show you again what happened a moment ago. Oh, he had a little help.
A little help from my friends.
Second angle, probably going to show you the same thing. That car had already gotten a little tap from behind from
from Kenseth and the link belt Chevy for Grubb. Was being.
And looks like Joe Bessie might have hit him.
And still no caution. Finally, the yellow flag waves the field. There's a car sitting in the middle of the racetrack. That is Bessie in turn 3. And they go above him and below him. Thus far, no one.
We got another car. We got another car on the inside. Is it Matt? It is Matt Kenseth, the guy that's second in the points. Oh, man.
You mentioned that he was qualifying. He started back in 18th spot. That can happen early. He was trying to get slowed down. I wonder if he got a little tap from behind. I think he may have gotten hit as he was trying to slow and come to the inside of the car that had spun up there, Joe Bessie.
And we can see some smoke as the tire is rubbing the fender as he comes to pit road, and look at the damage to the right front.
I'll show you what happened here to bring out the caution as Andy Santerre's car will spin coming off of turn 2 in the backstretch.
Santerre goes up. He tries to avoid hitting, I think, the 89 car. When he does that, he spins himself out. And he goes around. All these other cars go by down on the inside. Here's Joe Bessie, the 6th car on the outside. This car, he's going to make some contact, just slight contact with Santerre. But enough contact that he goes up and Bessie stops in the racetrack. We see the right front tire is flat. Another angle. There we see Santerre going round. And watch Joe Bessie as he comes. Watch Bessie waving his hand and trying to warn everyone else as he tries to turn left and catch it. Just no place he can go. He knocks the right front flat on his car.
And then Matt Kenseth has a problem from his in car from the roof cam, the Lyco Chevrolet.
They're all clear.
Earnhardt Jr.'s car really was working well in the.
Oh, and he gets a touch in the outside wall. Oh,
stay up, stay up, stay up. No caution yet, DJ, no caution.
And we've got a crash on the front stretch.
Well, the caution will not come out for Earnhardt, but it will come out for this connection between Blaze Alexander and Sterling Marlin, who have come together.
And Randall LaJoy, I think, hit the wall on coming off turn 4. I think there's about 3 or 4 different wrecks on this deal.
There is Carl Simmons waving the caution flag. Look at the right side of the AC Delco car. That's our points leader. A little bit of tap from the backside as the 3 car in the outside wall. There's a look at the Rayovac machine. That's Ed Whitaker's car for Sterling Marlin. There's Blaze Alexander in the Rescue Chevrolet.
We'll show you a replay of the Dale Earnhardt incident. We see it come off the corner and just a little touch from Kevin LePage. And Earnhardt Jr. goes up and bam, smacks that wall pretty doggone good.
Yeah, and the angle of the racetrack and the angle of the wall were 2 different ways, so it knocks all the camber out, knocks rear end over. This is a major hit that does a lot of damage.
There's just that little bit of touch, and watch this. Boom, both the front and the rear.
Boy, he had the wheels cut, but nothing else to do. Now, let's show you what happened in the second incident involving Sterling Marlin in the car number 1 and the 20 car of Blaze Alexander.
See, Mike Dillon, the 72 car, starts this crash. He spins the car out. Now, I guess that Blaze Alexander and Sterling Marlin just are innocent victims as they try to avoid. Is Todd Bodine going to hit him? No, he missed him. Man, how did he do that? But here comes Sterling Marlin, and he spins trying to avoid him. And look at Blaze Alexander. Boom, right in the right front wheel.
So Dillon gets going again, and he doesn't hit anybody.
Watch it from our speed shot camera. Now, Randy LaJoy, if this camera just stays positioned, I think Randy LaJoy ends up hitting the wall later on. Look, this is, I don't know how much later. Here comes the leader.
There he comes on the high side.
Watch LaJoy. You see him make that contact? That was a 47 car he made contact with, I believe.
Yeah, whichever car it was moved up on him a little bit. This is the first incident. This is on the back stretch. Now, while all this stuff's going on, and Earnhardt Jr. is getting his car back under control, this is Earnhardt Jr. passing him. And it was a clean pass. He didn't get into the back of him. He didn't get into anything. He washes up a little bit here. LePage just barely touches him. And boom, he's in the outside wall.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
That's Blaze Alexander's car number 20. Let's go down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, evidently it was actually the 29 car that Randy made contact with when he went into the wall. It looks right now like it's mostly cosmetic damage on the 74, and I think Bill Weber's in the 3 pit.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been in twice. They've changed the right side tires. They're working on the left rear. They pulled the sheet metal away from that left rear tire. He may have to come back. He sat here an awful long time and just barely beat the pace car out. So that last
straight away. Mort, man,
Front,
man.
to the high side. You got one up. We got to get her going.
Got about 5 or 6 cars involved in this one. Buckshot Jones involved. Bobby Hillin, who had a great run going early on. The 92 car, Jeff Green. Excuse me, Benny.
Dick Trickle's car is also involved. Sorry, Jared, didn't let you finish. All these cars involved. Man, some heavy damage to Barrier's car.
77 of Barriers involved. Trickle, as you said, Benny, up against the wall. You're on lap number 52.
There we see Buckshot Jones. He's going to be in it. The 93 car of Dave Blaney's going to be in it. Watch Buckshot come off the corner, and boom! Something looked like, oh, I see Dick Trickle had crashed, and the 8 car, Bobby Hillin, backed off, and Buckshot plowed right in the back of him, and Blaney plowed in the back of the 00, and the 99 car almost made it. There we see, look at LePage, and the 92 car of Jeff Green comes spinning into that. Barrier in the 77, Jeff Green in the 92. Here's Dick Trickle's onboard camera. The Snyder's onboard camera. Down the backstretch, turn 3. Goes up the racetrack. Now it's off forward for the... Let's see if we can see. Looks like he just lost it, Kyle.
It looks like he got hit almost.
Yeah, he did get hit. He did get hit, yes.
The way it turned on him real quick, it started to the left and then back to the right, and he was in the wall. And then these guys have no place to go. What you've got to remember and keep in mind when you're watching a race at Bristol, they're running 16-second laps, 16.5-second laps. This stuff's happening incredibly quick right in front of them.
Well, there's the Dennis Shoemaker Snyder National car for Dick Trickle. The Dickster there, 56 years of age. The heat, the humidity, the effort, and the frustration all wrapped up in that one picture of Dick Trickle's face here as he prepares to climb out of his Busch Series car. Trickle, Hillin, Jones, Barrier, Jeff Green, and Dave Blaney involved in caution number 4. Back in just a moment. Roaring at you at about 120 miles an hour. Another big incident, this time up on the banking. Maurice involved. There's Shane Hall, LaJoy, Todd Bodine, Blaney's involved.
The entire racetrack is blocked. These people are on the apron, but look at that. There's 4 wide, 2 going the opposite way. The entire racetrack is blocked.
Yeah, that's not a very good example of a parallel park there. Now, I don't know if they're going to allow Schroeder to have that lap back or not. Look at all the damage these cars. We see Mark Krogh there in the 80 car. He had some damage to a car in his qualifying run today. We see some more damage to his backup car.
There's Dave Blaney. He was a victim once again.
And, man, there we see Buckshot Jones and makes slight contact with Jeff Krogh in the 56 car. And we see Randy LaJoy slow down. Shane Hall, bam, hard in the back of the 85 car. And here comes Jeff's brother, Mark Krogh, the 80 car. And there comes Patty Moise into it. And, man, there, as you said, there's no place to go. Another angle. Here's Buckshot Jones right there as we roll the tape. There we see him trying to get under the Jeff Krogh car right there. And there's the contact.
That accident there takes out both of the Krogh brothers. There's LaJoy spinning his 74. Now watch the 93 gets tapped from behind on the 85 of Shane Hall. Here's the 14 of Moise coming in. Resendez going downstairs, and Ed Barrier trying to make it by the 77 car. So 6 cars involved in our 5th caution flag today. There's the Shane Hall machine, the Bama Jelly's Big A Auto Parts machine. As you look at the damage on that car, let's check side. Now comes back to the inside. Whoa!
Oh, we got a crash. Ricky Craven's involved in the race.
Hey, Rob, it broke the transmission. Transmission is broken in half.
Glenn Allen's involved as they come back to the caution flag. The 44 car is able to make it by. Here comes Craven along. He will lose a lap as the caution comes out for the 6th time tonight.
There's the pace car going out, trying to catch up with the 44 car, the leader.
There's a look at the New Holland Chevrolet for Ricky Craven. His car had been slipping up, but he had come all the way to 3rd position. After the restart just in front of Dale Jarrett, his car slipped up and he'd been losing spots. As we can see what happened with Craven, also involving the Glenn Allen car.
There we see Craven, the 2 car, going in the corner. Mike McLaughlin goes in. And then
Kevin Grubb goes by. Here comes the 37 car. He goes by, and we see Craven's car is off the pace. And now cars going by inside and outside, and finally the 83 car has no place to go and runs in the back. That's Wayne Grubb in the 83.
Here they go. The two's dead in the water in the middle of the racetrack. They come up, and here's little Earnhardt on the outside. They pin him back in the outside wall again after he's got his car about half straight. But there's just no place to go. They run up on the two. The two must have been having some type of problem. They run up on him so quick. They were already too wide. They had no place to go.
Here's Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s bumper cover. And with your Ty Norris say, keep digging, and that's what he's doing.
Usually like that plays out, then really Robert Presley, who car.
Oh, and they got a crash. That's Steve Grissom, the pole sitter.
Come on back. Come on back.
Heavy contact between he and Mark Trove.
Grissom's car, you saw it begin to bob and weave. Like he may have gotten tapped from behind. He goes up across the racetrack, and the Zippo Chevy has had contact with the wall.
Well, this is the brake that all those guys that had not pitted, that's the brake that they need to get in and get those fresh tires on the caution flag.
Now let's watch the 12. See if he has to check up because of some congestion right in front of him.
There he goes in the corner, and there we see the contact between Wayne Grubb and the 80 car, and he checked up. He did to avoid the accident. Grissom did, and spun himself around and right in the side of the 80 car.
Yeah, I think Grissom just checks up just a little bit, thinking they're going to get together. As you see him come down to the corner here, the 83 and the 80 get together. Grissom checks up, but his left side's on the flat of the racetrack. His right side is on the bank. It takes the wedge out of the car unloads and goes up the bank. It's fast. It's not like Buckshot's holding.
Oh,
And contact. Buckshot's involved. Presley is involved. The 44 car is involved. Elton Sawyer. There's the Barbasol machine involved. Let's see who can get through. The track is almost blocked here on the front stretch. Here's Dale Jarrett.
Get out there, Robert. We got to. And this race is over.
For all intents and purposes, this race is over. That was major. They just got together with Buckshot and went straight up the racetrack.
There is Tony Stewart involved. The second place car was involved. There's a 59 car on fire. Robert Presley, he is out of the car. The Kingsford charcoal machine. There's Presley standing down by the fence. They have red flagged the race. Here comes the fire crew over to try to extinguish the blaze in the car number 59.
Give me something here. Give me something. Turn on something so I can spray. Now, there we go. Now we're going.
My heavens, the car's involved. Once again, there's Robert Presley walking across. There's the Virginia is for Lovers machine for Kevin Grubb. He was involved, climbing out of his car. There's the 34, Mike McLaughlin, back the stick car 34 back on pit road. He was third in the points coming in. He was running sixth. He was involved.
And they can't put this fire out. We see it blazing back up again. There see Tony Stewart, one of the Grubb boys. I guess that was Kevin walking across the racetrack.
Well, guys, we're going to try to get a word here from Robert Presley, who just really was involved with a big fire. Robert, the big crash out there, but really great news to see that you're out of the car and okay. Tell us what happened out there.
Buckshot Jones. That's about all we can say. I don't know. I don't want to say anything I shouldn't. He's just stupidity. About all you can say about him. I mean, he had nothing to gain, and you know, heck, we're going to finish second. We was good in the long run. We might have got Dale, but I can't believe it. I know why everybody's calling him an idiot now.
Well, it's a good thing he had his fire suit on right there, because that car really lit up. And, Jerry, I think you made a good point right before they went to the restart. It was a double file restart, and that's always trouble here at Bristol.
And Benny Parsons made a call and showed that Dale Jarrett was able to get away. And we mentioned the 00 was fast. Here's again what happened.
They go in the third corner. That's 00 Buckshot on the bottom. As they come off the corner, Robert comes down trying to get to the bottom of the racetrack so he can catch Dale Jarrett. They make contact in the outside wall. There's Elton Sawyer going in. And then
I guess we've broken a fuel line off the 59 car. Wouldn't you guess, Kyle, that all that fire came from the fuel line?
It had to be a fuel line. If you watch the way the 44 hooks up behind the 59 car of Robert Plessy, they both drive straight into the wall. You watch them right here as they come. They get into Buckshot, or Buckshot gets into them, whichever way you want to see it. And watch them. They drive straight up the bank like a train, straight into the wall. These two cars hit hard. He's pinned up against the outside wall. Obviously, he's throwing a lot of sparks, and it probably broke the fuel pump. It's a Ford. It's on the right side over there. Probably knocked the fuel pump off. You see the stream of fuel. And these guys that are behind him had no place to go, because when you see it again, you see how much smoke was there, and there's nothing. These guys finally just had to stop and weave their way through it.
Once again from the roof cam from Matt Kenseth.
Down the front, stay down low. Down low.
Where's all my brakes? There they are.
Way down, man. Just one. Yeah, there you go.
He just stopped.
Just going by feet of Wussie's the fire hydrant. Now here's Elton Sawyer.
And watch this, gang.
Oh. Get it going right there. Oh.
Wow. The spotter was trying to drive him through it. Let's see what Mike McLaughlin sees. Man, I see what he sees. Elton Sawyer.
We are under caution at Myrtle Beach Speedway, just a couple of laps short of the lap 160 competition yellow. We'll show it to you in a moment. A big pileup on the main straightaway. Everybody is away, Larry Pearson, amazingly. That's Casey Atwood, the young 17-year-old. We'll show it to you coming out of turn 4. What happened here?
Well, it looks like Elton Sawyer got into Jason Jarrett a little bit and up next to the wall there, and Jason had to get out of it, and the cars behind him just piled in.
Kevin Grubb there in the 52. That's Scott Legacy in the 59. We'll take a look from Phil Parsons onboard camera here coming off 4. There's the skirmish.
Yeah. It's a good thing they didn't come back up the racetrack.
Really?
With a big mess there.
Casey Atwood suffered the most severe damage to the Bruco Motorsports Chevrolet, the 27 car. As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, he finished second at Nashville back in March on TNN Motorsports. He's just signed with the Bruco team. He'll run select races the rest of the year in a second car, teaming with Mark Green. They'll run the full season in 1999. Fourth caution of the night on lap 159. 1 lap away from the competition yellow, and we'll have to see what...
Well, it's the second race of the year. Here's your battle for the lead. Burton to the inside. Gary Layton in trouble. One car on the wall. Stevie Reeves is up in the wall. Got another car involved there, too. Looks like Larry Pearson was in the midst of that. That's heading down into turn 3. Burton grabbed the lead coming down to the stripe. There's Stevie Reeves in the Agajanian Curb Records automobile, the Ford Thunderbird. They are changing to Chevrolets, and that'll hasten their changeover, I think.
Wow, I tell you, a lot of damage to the right front corner there of Stevie Reeves' car. It happened at the back on the back straightaway going down towards turn 3. The black marks all over the outside wall there.
Gary Layton stopped down on the inside of the apron going into turn 3. We'll show it to you once again down the back straightaway. Here's the action. Joe Bessie there.
Okay, this is coming out of turn 2 here. As they come towards the back straightaway, you see Bessie there in the 6 car. They make contact. Layton into the outside wall. Now they're down going into turn 3 and back behind there. You can see the smoke and all the cars getting involved there.
Layton able to gather it up. Stevie Reeves up into the wall with some hard damage to the 43 car. So a tough break for Reeves and for Layton. We are under caution after just 5 laps. Your leaders, Jeff. And one car up in the wall. That's Dave Blaney for the second consecutive week. Blaney bites the wall hard, and Bill Davis is body World of Outlaws champion in 1995. Blaney very fast here again this weekend, but it got away from him, and he backed in hard.
That's the Bill Davis car, and it's a great race car. Blaney learning lessons the hard way right now, but I tell you, this car is really torn up. The back's gone there. You can see it's up to the back window there where he got into it backwards. The left front corner's torn up.
See, that's the rookie coming out anymore. He was going into turn 1. He got a car underneath of you. That's where the spotter's got to say, buddy, let him go, because that's exactly what can happen. It just gets tight getting into turn 1.
Our third caution of the afternoon comes out on lap 55 for Dave Blaney, the Ohio star. Young driver of incredible talent, just a maestro in a sprint car. Ran several ARCA races the last couple of years with Stan Hubbard's Ford team and did very, very well. Made the jump this year with Amoco backing into the NASCAR Busch Series, planning 22 races this year.
Boy, these guys are waiting to get down pit road right now. Here comes the leader down pit road as we speak.
Safety crew over to check on Dave Blaney. The Luxair team will have to work on that. Dave Blaney is out of the Amoco Pontiac, and he has taken a breath. His helmet is off. Certainly good news. Let's show it to you again. Get a look at Blaney here on the outside.
Yeah, here he is going down into turn 1 on the outside there, and this car, I don't know if he touched him or not from high this high up. I can't tell, but it looked pretty close.
Let's look at a tighter shot here. We have several angles. You can see going down in the corner there, Blaney on the outside. This car is all the way on the bottom there. Wow.
It looked from that view as though Blaney might have turned in a little too much.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. I mean, you got to look at it two ways. First of all, he's got to make that turn. You know, people always say, oh, he cut in front of him. Well, he did, but he's got to make that turn just like the guy on the inside does. But
about to be lapped by Mark Martin. Oh, and a spin. Crash right in front of the leaders.
2 cars involved. That's the 85 of Shane Hall and possibly the 88 of Kevin Swans. Looks to be the 2 cars involved in contact exiting turn 1 into turn 2. There's the Ryder Chevrolet of Kevin Swans, a former Grand Prix World Motorcycle Champion. He comes to rest against the concrete wall and will try to get a hook to climb out. Shane Hall's car sits in the middle of the groove in turn 2 as they come racing back toward.
And you're looking at all these cars getting a lap back on Mark Martin. Brad Loney gets a lap back. Santerre gets a lap back. Blaze Alexander gets a lap back. Because Mark Martin realized where the problem was. He did not want to drive down in that corner that fast. And we see Kevin Swans leaned up against his car. This is probably as hard. Yes, there's no doubt. This is as hard as he's hit in his young stock car career.
Yeah, definitely in a car. He may have hit harder with a motorcycle on the ground at some point in time, but you know, and Kevin, I really anticipated Kevin running really well here. He did such an incredible job at California last year, but you're so far away from the wall when something happens here. It's a long way to go, and you're going to bounce across the racetrack pretty hard.
Well, now he comes down across the racetrack and gets to the infield grass. There is the 85 car.
Good gracious, Kyle, look at the back of that car.
The fuel cell is driven absolutely on top of the rear end housing right there.
See if we can see what happened.
Go down the corner and I can't tell.
Yeah, either they got together or one of the cars broke loose in front. The white car seemed to, either they got together going into the corner or the 85 car, Shane Hall's car, broke loose and just took them both up the racetrack.
Now, we're told it happened right in front of the leaders. Here they are entering turn 1.
And they both dive for the bottom of the racetrack. Ray Dunlap?
Well, guys, what I'm hearing down here is the 88 car actually lost a wheel weight, and that gave him a handling problem, and that's what precipitated that big crash.
Wow.
All right, here are the leaders coming down pit road. As you see that, as they will come down here at lap.
The number 9 car.
Oh, crash. That is Mike Cope in the Slim Jim Chevrolet. As he comes across in the grass, tags the inside concrete, and that car skitters to a halt on the apron of the racetrack. That is in turn 3.
Big hit right there. That was a big hit.
Bringing out caution for the second time today.
And we see Tony Stewart trying to get a lap back.
And he will get it back.
That's twice he's been saved and got his lap back.
And there the safety crew is on their way out to check on Mike Cope.
Man, he hit that wall hard.
You can see some movement. He's moving around in there.
Mike, a 2-time All-Pro champion, 1994, 1996, running for Rookie of the Year this year in the Busch Series.
Tell you what, those guys, those rescue workers, pretty doggone nervy to go out there with those cars still going on the racetrack.
See if we can see what may have happened to Mike.
He comes off the corner, and right there, just as he goes up the racetrack, thinks he's clear of the car behind him, just gets clipped and just turns it into this. Watch this, folks. Oh, hard wall. Contact with that inside wall.
Yeah, the car never looked like it slowed down, you know, and it's just a pretty solid hit right there.
Now let's see if we can listen and hear. From high above the Pennzoil copter cam angle.
Is that the 89 car of Stanton Barrett that's right behind him? It looks like it's a white car.
Mike thought he was clear of him, came up and just got a touch. Car looked like the rear tires got off the ground, didn't it, Kyle? As he was backing down through there?
Just a little bit, it looked like, but he was off in the grass, and it kept it drugged down a little bit.
Fortunately, that car not sliding back up across a racetrack. And just as we come back here, an incident coming out of turn 4, 3 cars sliding across will bring out the caution flag. Here's the leader by. He gets by Dick Trickle. There is Mike McLaughlin, the Gould's Pump Chevrolet. The Matchlight Kingsford machine of Robert Presley involved. Dick Trickle trying to get the Snyder Transportation machine refired, the Dennis Shoemaker-owned car. And he indeed will get that car fired. So all 3 principals able to refire and pull away. Well, you've heard of synchronized swimming. This was synchronized spinning coming out of turn 4. We take a look.
Trickle on the inside of Mike McLaughlin. I'm assuming that Trickle is going to lose to get the car a little bit out of shape. Or it's going to come off the corner and think he's got him cleared again, Kyle.
Think he's got him cleared. He goes up the racetrack. He pushes just a little bit right there. And then Mike just gets into him a little bit. And then Robert Presley, who's already had trouble and been behind the wall changing transmissions, and they all just lightly spin down through here. Not really a lot of heavy contact between any of them. Just barely touch each other.
Well, from high above the Pennzoil copter cam, it's the old I'm into you, he's into me, and we're all 3 going to spin routine.
See, as he pushes up, and there, Dick just seems to check up just a little bit, and Mike's down below him, and they just barely touch, and there they go.
I think that Dick Trickle's car pushed as he came off the corner, and he had to back off the accelerator. Otherwise, he was going to run into the wall, and when he did that, the 34 car runs in the back of him. Ray Dunlap?
Well, Benny, we talked about this tire.
Primary contender.
And here's an accident, car number 83. That's the youngster Grubb.
Wayne Grubb out of Richmond, Virginia. And some pretty serious damage to the left rear of that automobile. And once again, caution flag is out. And Kyle, they don't have any tires to change now, do they?
Buckshot Jones is the only one, and he must have 1 or 2 sets of left down there. But he's the only guy I know on pit road that's got any tires left.
Oh, a heavy impact from that young man. Hard impact. But the car number 83, Wayne Grubb in the Link Belt Chevrolet, brings out caution for the 5th time. We'll come back and check out the pit stops in a moment. Back at Las Vegas Motor Speedway under caution for the 5th time today. Wayne Grubb's Chevrolet, a hard impact of the outside retaining wall. Coming off turn 2, the youngster from Virginia, late model stock car driver. And we wonder if we're going to see some pit stops. So we'll see if we can see again what may have happened to Wayne Grubb a moment ago.
Comes off the corner, and right there, I don't know if there was any contact from the 77 car or not, or if Wayne just lost control coming off the corner. Couldn't tell.
Yeah, I don't think there was from the 77 car. Whatever this car is, right, 74. There could have been some from LaJoy there, because it was almost like he had turned around, but it really didn't look like there was any contact from anybody. He just was out a little bit, and it got away from him, it looked like.
Wayne Grubb's first start in 1998. Plans on running 17 events. Well, right now, accident on the front. That's Andy Santerre, Mike McLaughlin. The Monroe Shocks and Parts machine of Santerre has come to rest backwards, and he bats it down off the racetrack. The leaders are in turn 3. Here they come, back to turn 4. Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt Jr. were side by side. Here comes Dick Trickle trying to get a lap back. He will not be able to catch the leader, Jimmy Spencer, but the caution comes out for the 6th time today. Well, now less than 20 laps to go. Once again, the cars involved in the incident, the latest caution flag, Andy Santerre and Mike McLaughlin here at the start-finish line. We were starting to see a lot of slipping and sliding out there. We had just seen Elliott Sadler tap the wall. We saw Stanton Barrett with a great save in turn 3, trying to keep his car off of the 00 of Buckshot Jones.
Once again, we'll see the replay. And watch the black 66 right in the middle of the screen come off the corner. The car just starts pushing. He goes up the hill, and am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Oh, there's the 47 car losing control. I'm sorry, that was the different deal. And Santerre finally does lose control. Mike McLaughlin, I tell you what, did Joe Bessie thread the needle, Kyle, or what?
right through the middle, just perfect. The 57 car appeared to get into the back of Santera right there as they come up off the corner.
Yeah.
You can see him. He gets him right here, and he gets a little out of shape, and Jason drives on by him, and then Mike gets hit in the back. This is the second time Mike's been out through the grass. I know he's not enjoying this any.
Almost the same tracks that he did the last time.
Almost the same place. You see the 57 right here get into him just a touch, just enough to get him out, and he almost got it back. Then he's right up through the middle of the pack, and there Mike gets hit in the back by somebody and sent out through the infield.
Did you see LaJoy, the defending series champion? He's right behind Santerre as he's spinning, and he just has to jam on the brakes and try to keep him getting into Santerre.
LaJoy has done second.
And an accident here in the front stretch. 4 cars involved. Another car spinning. The 44 is involved. Heavy contact. There's the Shell Pontiac. Left of the Shell Pontiac for Tony Stewart. A couple of cars pulling away, trailing smoke.
Meanwhile, they're racing back to the line, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in second spot as they come back to the line.
And they're trying to slow him down. Spencer goes low. Earnhardt Jr. is second. Nemechek third. Burton, and then Dale Jarrett in that order. As they will take the caution flag for the 7th time. There's the car number 4 of Jeff Purvis. He was one of the cars involved, the Lance Snack Chevy.
This is right along with it. This is a live shot as we see the smoke blowing up where the fenders are rubbing the tires as Purvis goes to pit road.
Boy, there's the heavy damage on Tony Stewart's car. Front and rear. See if we can see what may have happened.
I see the 17 car Matt Kenseth gets together with Purvis and just turn those cars directly up into the path of the 57 car of Jason Keller and Tony Stewart.
Wow. Last week, remember the contact between the 17 and 44 for the win. This is quite a bit different.
You ever see the 4 car? Here goes the 17. They're about 5 wide right here. Right, and all of a sudden, when the 4 car Purvis comes down, there's another car there. They make contact, and 5 wide, Kyle.
5 wide.
Yeah.
And every one of them in the right place. I mean, in a proper groove. It's not like anybody was being stupid. They were just all there racing.
All right, on board with Jeff Purvis. We'll take a listen.
Wow.
That even sounds ugly.
Does it feel that violent in there, Kyle?
It does feel that violent. I'd like to see that replay again. I want you to see what Tony Stewart does. He just turns loose of the steering wheel, and the steering wheel just continually spins. But that was a pretty violent hit right there, and it does feel that violent because it's so unexpected. You know how it is, Benny. You've wrecked before. When you can brace for it, it's a little bit different. But when you can't brace for it and you're not ready for it, it just goes. Here Tony gets into him right here as they come up off the corner. And then all of a sudden when he gets hit, you'll see it right here. Now watch the steering wheel. He's got a hold of the steering wheel. He's got it again. And then he just turns loose of it. And watch it just go back and forth. It just spins. He almost reaches back in there.
I mean, that's really dangerous to let go of the steering wheel because that thing's spinning around like you put your hand in there, it'll break the thing.
It'll break it. That's exactly right. And that's what I say. But he just turns loose of it and lets it spin. But, you know, at that point in time, there's no need to hang on to the steering wheel anyhow because it's going to go wherever it wants to go.
We've seen some drivers let go of the steering wheel at super speedways. Bill Elliott broke a wrist a couple of years ago by cutting a tire and trying to hold on the steering wheel and snapped the wrist just back, his arm just back above the wrist. Kenny Schrader said when he hit the wall abruptly at Daytona back in the qualifying race, his hands came off the steering wheel, which probably kept him from breaking a hand or a wrist or maybe even a forearm. The repairs being made on pit road to Matt Kenseth Chevrolet. Last week's winner at Rockingham involved in an incident here. The 7th caution flag of the day. Back in a moment. Huge accident in turns 3 and 4.
Stanton Barrett's in the front.
One car upside down.
LaJoy.
That is Randy LaJoy, defending series champion, as he slides down on his roof in the Fina Chevrolet. 3 cars in the wall. one upside down. There is the Glenn Allen car, what's left of the Bill Papke Luxair machine. He's moving around with his window net down. There's the channel lock car of Kevin LePage. Heavy damage both front and rear there on his Chevrolet.
Dick Trickle also went by in the 64 car. Some heavy damage to that automobile.
And safety crews are there immediately. There is Glenn Allen out of his car, walking down across. Look at the debris all over the racetrack there. As the field now passing by. Jimmy Spencer did win the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. second, but now the primary concern is for the defending series champion, Randy LaJoie, whose car tumbled over on its top, and now the crew, along with the safety crews, are there to help get
there he is.
LaJoie out, and he is out of the car, standing there taking the helmet off, talking to some of the other crew members, and that is a great sight.
That's one of the Barbasol crew that was over there. And there's the winner.